Shalom, Shalum, and welcome. This is Endtime Reflections, and my name is Symmanayah. These messages are to those who are drawn by the Almighty Creator Yahuah to Yahusha Mashiach, and I am referencing John 6:44. It is for those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. Again, I say Shalom and welcome. This is the 48th installment of Endtime Reflections. Here I present the case why we will grow to discern the life in the Scriptures much better than we have done in times past. Specifically, I will use the need to begin to understand that there will be sifting sounds, a shakening that will bring about a separation between the set apart and the wicked. Sifting sounds. I further submit the need to see how the realities of our current experiences are linked to Scriptures. By beginning to discover the characteristics of what is written in the Scriptures, many will see living instructions in a whole new light. But before I continue, let me just say this. The views expressed in these podcasts do not necessarily reflect the owners, management, and or shareholders of this media platform. With that said, my brother, my sister, you who have discovered these words reaching your ears, let me say this. For some, it is easy to read Scriptures or listen to people read Scriptures to you. The test comes while others struggle with comprehending and understanding the text alone. They struggle with discerning what it is that the Almighty Father is saying to them. We will grow to see why it's important to study. Not only study, but it is also important to seek to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah sent in Yahusha's name to teach us so that we're able to rightly divide the word. We're able to witness the word, the text come alive. By discerning the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha, we will begin to discover the Scriptures being made alive, as well as begin to see Him working in us, through us, one towards another. I have witnessed many mores, teachers, and others who have spent more time analyzing text, jumping from language to language, jumping from Hebrew to English to Yiddish to modern Hebrew to Paleo-Hebrew, breaking down the text, opposed to emphasizing the need to discern what the Spirit of Yahusha had to say regarding what the Scriptures present. They consume a lot of time without instructing a person to lean on the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha so that they can discern whether what they're saying is true. Sure, they'll say, go study for yourself, but fail to say it requires prayer. It requires a sincere heart, mind, and body to serve and worship the Almighty Father. To just go and study the text for self-gain or to establish a position will be counterproductive if you ignore the need to discern what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying. Such individuals that do this are widely found among mores teachers who claim to know or have mastered the Hebrew language. These individuals push modern Hebrew, most of them, which is Aramaic. This is not the pure lip mentioned in Zephaniah 3:9. Sifting sounds, my brothers and sisters, will prove the need to begin rightly identifying what is set apart versus what is not. Not falling for these erroneous people who are trying to lift themselves up, claiming to know Hebrew, claiming to be teaching you Hebrew. Some will later come back and say, I told you, that was wrong. I misinterpreted. I gave you the wrong breakdown on that word or this word. My brothers and sisters, are we not aware that in Revelations 7th chapter, it talks about a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues? This means many different languages. The pure lip has not established at that time. It will come upon the return of Yahusha Mashiach. But this subject is about sifting sounds, the sounds of judgment, working its way through the set-apart body, working its way in the house of Yahuah. It is a sound as a broom scratching a hardwood floor, sweeping it, cleaning. It is the sound of a vacuum cleaner running, sucking up and discarding all that is wicked. It is the sound of brothers and sisters arguing and debating, trying to discern what is right. sifting sound. It is the sounds of resistance of those who will not yield to what is being corrected. It is the sound of those saying hallelujah that discover what is true and walking after the desires of the Almighty Father. Allow me, my brothers and sisters, to say it is important once again to vet, to examine all things. This will prove to aid in moving towards correctness. Allow me to present the following, as I believe it can be connected to the Feast of Trumpets. For out of this passage there will be noises, sounds of praise, judgment, and more. Who is mindful of Amos chapter 9, verse 9 and 10? Amos chapter 9, verse 9 and 10. For look, I am commanding, and I shall sift the house of Yashar'al among all the nations as one sifts with a sieve, yet not a grain falls to the ground. All sinners of my people are going to die by the sword, those who are saying evil does not overtake us nor meet us. If you search the scriptures, you will find that the sword is the word, the living sword, the living word of the Almighty Father Yahuah is indeed Yahusha. Failure to accept him will lead to death and prove to be connected with death, spiritual death, my brothers and sisters. Failure to be obedient can lead to one being delivered to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved. This is a brother or sister. They're just struggling, but are taken home, so to speak, taken to rest. Sifting like a sieve. Amos 9, 9, and 10. If he's sifting Yashar'al like a sieve, which he is and will and continue to do, there will be sifting sounds, the sounds of that action. How many of us will begin to ask ourselves, what does that resemble? What does it look like? Are we not aware of 1 Peter 4, 17 through 19, which reads, because it is time for judgment to begin from the house of the Almighty One, and if firstly from us, what is it the end of those who do not obey the good news of the Almighty One? And if the righteous one is scarcely saved, where shall the wicked and the sinner appear? So then, those who suffer according to the desire of the Almighty One should commit their lives to a trustworthy Creator in doing good. Judgment beginning at the house of Yahuah. Do you not know that that judgment will actually begins with the leaders of the house of Yahuah and then among the followers? You see, the more one is given, much is required, much is expected. Watch as pastors, deacons, bishops, leaders, mores, teachers, spiritual influencers, watch as they are refined and corrected, and or watch them become purged from our midst, some even facing sickness unto death. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11 and 12 say, my son, do not despise the discipline of Yahuah. Do not loathe his reproof, for whom Yahuah loves, he reproves, as a father the son whom he delights in. That was Proverbs 3, 11 and 12. And Hebrews 12, 11 says, and indeed no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but grievous. But afterwards it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Do you not think that in the discipline of Abba Yahuah that this would be sounds? Sounds, people fighting to preserve their egos and their positions, people fighting and struggling to determine what is right and which things they should accept or reject. These are sifting sounds, my brothers and sisters. Who among us have witnessed pastors, mores, teachers, bishops, deacons, and any other influential individuals speak on identifying the characteristics of what they're reading? Who tells us? Who explains to us what sifting means? What sounds come? What realities does this represent? Who among us read the scriptures and talk about how it affects us today and the realities of what it's describing? The life and what I just read, I submit to you, O set apart nation. Yashar'al, there will be sifting sounds. There will be sounds of joy as a result of the sifting from Abba Yahuah. There will be sounds of resistance as we witness the sifting promised by Abba Yahuah. I want you to be advised. When we witness disruptions, sometimes it is a result of correction coming from Abba, Yahuah, Spirit, in Yahusha's name. Sometimes the noise we hear, sometimes the disruption is to bring about separation, set apartness, to bring about correction. And sometimes there will be those who are disobedient, bringing disruption that is unfruitful and unwise. The Almighty Father will open our eyes and ears to see and distinguish the difference between the two. Sifting sounds are at work. If we understand what is occurring, truly we should be able to understand the need for sifting sounds, the need to identify what's being said, the actions, the origins, the beginning of such sounds, what's causing them, and for what purposes. We will discover the Father, the Almighty Father Yahuah, through His Spirit sent in Yahusha's name, giving us the guidance to navigate through sifting sounds. Remember, O Yashar'al, in order to be strengthened, it requires facing reproof, correction. In order to make things straight, when led by the Spirit of Yahuah sent in Yahusha's name, it requires action, obedience. Consider the following. Proverbs 27:17 say, iron is sharpened by iron, and the man sharpens the face of his friend. Iron sharpening iron, my brothers and sisters, are like metals. It didn't say iron sharpening aluminum, or iron sharpening plastic, or iron sharpening wood. Though these could be used to bring about some sharpening, but iron sharpening iron are two like metals coming together, producing a sharp, keen edge for cutting through the thing that would seek to hold us back. Ecclesiastes 10:10 said, if an iron tool is blunt and one does not sharpen the edge, then he needs more strength and wisdom, and wisdom is advantageous to make it right. Let me read that again. If an iron tool is blunt and one does not sharpen the edge, then he needs more strength, and wisdom is advantageous to make it right. My brothers, my sisters, we read and we hear individuals present the scriptures, but all too often we fail to ask, what does that resemble? What are the characteristics of iron sharpening iron? And I submit to you, anyone who has seen iron literally sharpening iron will notice that there's sparks that will fly. There will be actions and reactions. Anyone who has seen it done correctly will see a sharp edge can be produced when iron sharpens iron. Are we of like mind? Do we seek to do the will of the Almighty Father? Let us be as iron sharpening iron. Let us witness the sifting sounds necessary to bring a refined, set-apart nation to the place we need to be. Do we honestly believe there will be sifting during the days of old? That there was just sifting during the days of old? Do we think that this passage in Amos that I read in 9:9 and 10, Amos 9:9 and 10, do we think that was just something that happened in the past? Have you witnessed people argue, debate, and or respond emotionally when being reproved? Is this not some type of sifting to bring about correction? Have we witnessed times of rejoicing once we have fell into set apartness as a result of reproof and correction and come into agreement? And we shout, hallelujah. Is that the result of sifting sound? The time is now to begin discovering the reality of what's written, embracing the life in the scriptures. The time is now to put more weight on the life in the scriptures versus just the text alone. For man has tampered with the text. There are many translations out there, some leaving out books, some leaving out words, some replacing Yahuwah's name with other names. Know this, my brothers and sisters, while there are many translations of the scriptures and quite a few different interpretations, in the promised discipline that the Almighty Father presents to us, we will witness correction, work, and how to walk and move about correctly and discern the life in the scriptures. My brother, my sister, there are individuals among us who claim the Most High, the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Father told them something, but are undiscerning and thus present lies. Many people will believe someone saying the Father told me, the Ruach HaKodesh spoke to me, the Most High spoke to me, But yet, these individuals do not demonstrate what true discernment is, a reflection of the Spirit of Yahusha revealing. These individuals will say the Father told them and will be lying. Many of them. If we study the scriptures and discern the life in them, the Spirit of Yahusha will reveal who's lying and who's not. And all too often you can see, I've heard people say even their Ruach. Ruach just means spirit. Or the Ruach. Simply means spirit. Ask them next time they say that, what spirit are you talking about? Be specific. I cannot stress enough how we must vet and examine all things. And one might say, who are you to tell me whether the Father spoke to me or not? If we study the scriptures, if we walk filled with the Spirit, if we are able to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha, we can see when one say that the Ruach or the Father or their Spirit claiming to receive set apart instruction, we can see whether that's true or not. For we can weigh them against the scriptures that are made alive. Yes, we have the ability. We are the house of Yahuah. Make no mistake. A person cannot corral the power and might of Yahuah and claim it for themselves. Many don't even understand what true discernment is, but they will yet give credit in their mind to the Father. But if they're lying, the Father is not in that. And we see stories of times when Yashar'al themselves went to go fight in battle. And Moshe told them, Yahuwah is not with you. Don't go up there. But they went anyway. You see, my brothers and sisters, vetting, examining all things is important. I cannot stress it enough. And the pattern, the blueprint for vetting is within the 7 major feast times. I speak of it often. So I won't go through it line upon feast upon feast right now. Search out, for I speak of it much often. But it is a blueprint for vetting, for examining, to help minimize and reduce the possibilities of falling and stumbling, the possibility of pain, unnecessary pain, that is. Behold, O Yashar'al, the hand of Yahuwah is rising among us. We will grow in unity. Though there are individuals who may not be able to discern what is unfolding, soon it will become clear how things will come together. There will be sifting sounds, some yielding good results and others bringing noise, pain, and regret. Choose wisely. Choose wisely, my brothers and sisters. Begin discussing, asking questions. How do you vet? How do you examine diligently and move beyond the noise? What instructions do you believe are being given by our Yahuwah, sent in Yahusha's name, to you, to me, to Yashar'al? Be encouraged, my brother, my sister. Our redemption draws near. Let us trust and believe that the Almighty Father will indeed magnify his presence before us. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, remember there is much work to be done. In the midst of all uncertainty, there will be sifting sounds that will result in a rising nation. Soon and very soon, the 144,000 in great multitude will rise up and be seen among the world. We will witness a great gathering like never imagined. My name is Symmanayah, and I come to you in the name of Yahusha Mashiach with these words. Until next time, I say to you, my brother, my sister, my family, Shalum.